me. I'm trying to hide it, but
I
here we
forgot
are.
about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have the Superpowers team, known as the Life Game Avengers of current culture. It's the living legend Larry. He's covered up in vibranium, so you can't touch him. It's the homie B. Avery in his black Just My Opinions reviews shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Yeah, man, I'm doing my thing.
Oh yeah, you always doing your thing. Be getting me in trouble and stuff, boy. You, boy, you be getting me in trouble, man. See, this is what Larry do to you, B. Avery. Larry write checks that the whoever channel it is got to go cash them checks. That's what Larry do.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. Larry wrote a check the other day that I done had to cash about 4-5 times, but I got the money, so I cash them up.
Oh,
how are you doing though?
How you doing for you, huh?
Yeah, man. That boy, they was on that. Brother, I'm good, man. My daughter walking. Now she's saying words. It got me chasing up and down the road. Boy, I tell you.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. But fellas, the first story gonna cover always makes me second guess should I brought that girl into the world. Now, when I sent you guys the itinerary, this wasn't up there because when I say I just found out about this, I just found out about this about an hour ago on CNN. And before I play you the news clip, let me break the story down for you. You guys are brothers. They've been killing unarmed black men since they brought us here on the boat. This story is about a gentleman in Louisiana, fellas, who this killing of him happened 2 years ago and has been covered up from the city level, the state level, all the way up to the federal level, and just got leaked last week to the Associated Press.
Leaked.
So leaked. It didn't come out. They lied to the family and told the family that he died in a car accident with the state troopers. Come to find out, fellas, not only did they turn him over, handcuff him, choke him, but these dudes was talking shit while he down there dying, saying, I hope he don't cough up none of his blood on me. And fellas, let me just play you guys a story, and then we'll finish trying to explain to people what we've been trying to say for years. We need some justice. Here we go.
It's hard to watch, but difficult to ignore. Body cam video showing the deadly police encounter 2 years ago in Louisiana with a suspect after a high-speed chase. Miguel Almaguer has more.
In video obtained, released, and edited by the Associated Press, the brutal and violent arrest and subsequent death of Ronald Green is captured on body camera. After a dangerous high-speed pursuit, Louisiana state troopers pulled the 49-year-old black man from his vehicle. Taser. Green is seen being tased multiple times, but much of what happened is off camera.
I'm sorry.
During the graphic and disturbing video, Green is also repeatedly punched, put in a chokehold, and dragged face down through the dirt. His family says after Green was shackled, he was left for 9 minutes without aid, as officers used hand sanitizer to clean their bloodied hands.
This guy ain't got AIDS.
The video is probably one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen of police brutality. It invokes the image of what you might imagine slave catchers look when hunting down a runaway slave.
Green's family says Louisiana state troopers tried to cover up the 2019 beating.
All right, fellas, man, Lord have mercy.
Outside.
Okay, I'm gonna end it right there because we're having some technical difficulties. But Larry, if you can hear me, can you hear me, Larry? Bruh, like I was just telling you, when we first got up here, I was bothered by this because I just brought this child into the world, black child. She didn't ask to come into the world. I brought her into the world. So I wanted to be her dad. I wanted to try to protect her. I wanted to do everything I could to show her what I didn't have as a young man. I want her to meet you. I want her to meet B. Avery. I know she's got big uncle figures in her life. But when I continue to see this bullshit, Larry, this happened. What you didn't see on the rest of the video was the cover up and what they did to the family. They lied to the family and said that he was just in a car accident when clearly they killed him. And then it got covered up on every layer, all the way up to the Trump administration, covering this shit up. And it just got leaked to the Associated Press 2 days ago. The cops was treating this guy like he wasn't even human. They more worried about getting blood on them than they are trying to turn this man over to assist him. And when the EMTs roll up and they said, this guy looked like he's about to die, the cop said, oh, fucking well. Larry, I'm going to come to you first. When are people going to wake up, understand that a tyrannical police department is not just a threat to black people, it's a threat to all society and democracy? Floor is yours, Larry, because I'm pissed about this. This is not what I want my daughter to be having to coming into the world having to deal with.
Yeah, I guess I don't know when, man, because I mean maybe when there's more videos of white people being brutalized like this, maybe then it'll happen. But I'm not convinced that the people of this nation are ever going to want to really make some systematic change and real institutional change to our police departments, regardless of how many black people are killed and murdered and caught on camera. I don't think it matters. I think it's upsetting and frustrating to us when we see it, but I don't think it matters to the people of this country. I think that this country is so morally broken and bankrupt. I'm not sure there's any saving it. I have tried to remain hopeful, and I'm not sure that there's saving it. I don't think there's any. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know if there's any saving this country. I want to believe that there is, but I think that part of the problem is there is such a large swath of the population that not only is apathetic about this, but many of them actually want it. They encourage it. They believe this is the way things can be. And people often try to say the whole, oh, this is a bad apple. But we recognize this is not a bad apple when you see it happen everywhere. It's systematic. It's trained. And they say, oh, they just need training. But this is how they're trained. This is how they're trained. And if you bring that up to cops are so full of shit. They will sit up there and say, oh, I didn't learn any of this when I was in the academy. That's not what I learned when I was in the academy. But I have multiple cops in my sphere. My dad was a cop for like 33 years. One of my friends from high school, he's a cop. My best friend, one of my best friends from back home, his little brother is a cop. I mean, I have plenty of people around in my sphere that are cops, plus other people just that I know. One of my old roommates from college is a cop. And the thing that people don't always mention when they say, oh, I didn't learn this in the academy, is that they only learn a fraction of what policing is to them from the police academy. The rest of it they learn from their training officers when they get on the job. When they graduate from the academy and they have their training officers, and this is where they're getting their real training. This is where you learn how to deal with suspects. This is where you learn all the stuff that we see out there in the streets every day. And this is where people learn to kill and brutalize and maim and violate people's rights and lie about it. And that's how they learn to scream stuff like he's going for my gun. That's how they learn how to take their cameras off and set them someplace else. That's how they learn all these tricks that protect them and their retirement, because that's what they all say. Oh, my job is to get home to my wife and kid. That's my job is to make it to retirement. No, that's the job of the accountant. That's the job of the doctor or the nurse down the street. That's the job of the construction worker or the bus driver. Your job is somebody who's supposed to stand in between me and danger. Your job is to put yourself in that dangerous position. And that's why you get paid the money you do with the education level that you do and the skill level that you have. That's why you get paid that money. Otherwise, you would be working someplace else making a whole lot less. Firefighters, they get paid to run into a burning building and save an old person, a young person, a middle-aged person. They are paid to put their lives in harm's way so that the average citizen doesn't have to. Cops just seem to now say, that's not my job, and their main job is to go out there, kill people, brutalize people, and somehow lie about all of it so that they can get home to their families. And they get trained how to do this. They may not get trained in the academy, but they get trained by how to do this when they get to the streets and they have their training officers. So it's not a training issue because they're doing exactly what they're trained to do. The problem is the system, and we need to just dismantle the entire system from at every level and rebuild it and replace it with something different, something better.
Will Lawrence, appreciate you, my homie, that super chat. You know I'll chop it up with the fellas. B. Avery, you're a young man. When you see this, and you continually see it, now this happened 2 years ago. This is before we felt like we was getting a reprieve. I know we talked about me and Larry, and I think you came up here with us that day when they came down with the ruling with George Floyd. Me and Larry, we was very non-optimistic. We felt like that was an anomaly, and we was just fortified by what just happened right here in North Carolina where I live at. And when you continue to see this behavior, what do you think we've got to do?
Well, first, when I didn't, like you said, I didn't know we was going to be talking about this today, and it's all good. I saw the headline myself. I needed to pace myself because I just wasn't ready. So luckily, with my slow computer, I was only able to hear what with the audio and not see it, because if I would have saw it, I'd probably be in a different mindset right now. Right. But as far as what we have to do, I echo exactly what Larry said. We do need to dismantle the entire system and replace it with a system of justice, if possible. Because the system we're in is based on the system of white supremacy. It's going to take the unfortunate thing about it is it's going to take the rest of our lives to get that accomplished. Because it's embedded in, this white supremacist ideology is embedded in all aspects of life, not just here in America, but the globe. Unfortunately, they have us on lockdown. We are prisoners of war on this planet, and there's no place that we can go. I reference a film I'm sure y'all heard of, came out in '94, Shawshank Redemption, with Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. Yeah. And that is a great analogy right there. Andy Dufresne, he was in the prison. No matter if he did get into, if he got into a little scuffle with a police officer, aka a prison guard, it really doesn't matter. He was still stuck in that system, that prison. And, he had to study for over 20 years to figure it out and dismantle it. And then, he was able to do that, in the end, and break free and take advantage of it. Now that's on a small scale, but we got to do that on a large scale. And we're not going to, bear the fruits of that labor, unless it's our children or grandchildren. But something has to be done. And it just makes me realize that we have no friends at all. We are here alone, and Black people have to realize that nobody's going to come and save us. We have to do it ourselves. The solutions are simple, but it's going to be extremely difficult. And when I say the solutions, like I've said it before, we just really have to find the people that are already doing the work, seeing how we can help them out, know our history, so that we can know who we are, but so we can also not make the same mistakes that we made in the past. Because even right now with the Black Lives Matter movement, while I agree with the movement, I don't agree with the organization. There's a lot of things echoing from the civil rights movement, and we're still making a lot of the same mistakes. We're going to have to read, we're going to have to engage, we're going to have to talk in all 9 levels of human activity. One of the topics I'm gonna bring up later, but it's going to keep happening, and that's the sad thing. But We can't just sit on our hands. We can't just pray about it without following it up with action. You know, we literally have to do this ourselves. We all have to change our lives and just start engaging on all fronts, you know, talking and just figuring this out and doing the studying the data, studying the research, studying the patterns, adapt the code of conduct. I mean, and another thing, like Black people, we need to adopt the code universally. We don't have one. We're just scattered, running around, you know, just asking everybody to love us. You know, I can't stand a Republican, and I can't stand a white supremacist. I'm not a Democrat either. I'm neither. But one of the things that I respect about the white supremacists and the Republicans is even if they hate each other, they're still able to work amongst each other to withhold their power. They have a code that they stick to. Even if they don't like each other, they stick with each other no matter what. All these Republicans, they hated Trump, you know, but they still had his back, and that's how they maintain their power. But they do that off of just, you know, white supremacy and evil and bigotry. Black people, we need to do that off of justice and righteousness. You know, like we have to be on top of the mountain of things that we have to do. We also have to learn to work with each other when other Black people, when we don't like each other. You know, like what are the things? Okay, we don't like each other here. We disagree there. What are the things that we do agree on? You know, let's stop giving away our vote for free unless we're going to get something tangible in return. You know, and we just simply don't vote for them. You know, on a local, state, and a federal level. You know, I mean, there are organizations out there that have written up agendas. You can Google it, and you may not agree with all 1 to 10 or 15 bullet points, but maybe we can find 1 or 2 of those things on that list and move forth that way. But we don't have any friends. We don't, and even if we do have allies out there, guys, you know, they're only going to come forward if they see us putting forth effort. You know, I hate to be so long-winded right now, but I mean, that's just an experience that I had last year. You know, I know we're going to be talking about the wealth gap pretty soon, but, you know, somebody saw the little bit of work that I was doing on Facebook, just like, hey, Brandon, I see what you're doing. I do appreciate it. I mean, I support you. You know, how can we close the gap? How can we help? I'm a millionaire. I know that you're not in that position. I'll be fine because I'm a white guy, somebody I went to junior high and high school with. And I just say all that to say is like, you know, if we are going to have help, we're going to have allies. They're only going to come forth if we're doing the work ourselves first. And so, like I said, we can't rely on these other groups, you know, to come and save the day. We're just going to have to do it ourselves and talk and engage and just, you know, continue to network with each other, and also just take up arms. I mean, I feel that every Black man, woman, and child should be armed, educated, and trained just for at 24 hours a day, 365 a year, just for whatever may pop off at any time. Because I mean, we don't have anything to lose. We really don't, you know. And I don't know, something you asked earlier, I don't know what Black people are waiting on, because we have over 400 years of documented rape, torture, murder, kill. What has happened in history for Black people to think that won't happen anymore, especially when it's still happening right now? You know, I mean, I haven't bumped heads with my college friends, but I've stopped talking to a number of them just because I can't talk to them about this stuff. And if you want to go over here and just pretend like it's non-existent or acknowledge it, but when I'm talking about, hey, let's do something about it, you get more mad at me than the white supremacists that are actually oppressing us. What do we have to talk about?
Right.
You know, I mean, we're not in college anymore. You know, I mean, I still love you. You know, you can go your way, I can go my way. It doesn't mean I hate you, but I just cannot waste my energy on people that just don't care, that are just waiting by the sideline, or I'm just going to give it to God, which is fine, but you have to follow it up with action. So, I mean, we just have to find the people that are down for the cause and continue to engage and educate ourselves. You know, that's the only way I see that we can maybe come out of this in the next, I don't know, 50 or 60 years. But you know, a storm is coming, and you better get ready. So
I'm gonna say this, man. BA, I didn't know you could give such a great commencement speech. You done came and Larry done rubbed off on you. That was the longest I've heard you go, and I'm grateful. I'm appreciative you dropped some gems in that one. And there are a lot of people that needed to hear that. I needed to hear it. I'm grateful to hear that. And you spoke on bridging the wealth gap, which is the very next subject we're going to cover. You know, I felt like since we had one issue going on in our community, let's follow it up with another one. So, B. Avery, introduce your story, and then when you do that, I'll drop the video for it.
Well, one second. Let me get this other. Okay, I got it. So, I was talking like I just brought up my college friends, and I think it's about maybe 10, 11, 12 of us in the group chat. There's only probably about 1 or 2 of them in that I can talk about this stuff right here. They tell me that I'm wasting my breath when I try to talk to them about it. Even when it comes to the data, they say, Brandon, you have to kind of be careful and you know, give people training wheels to talk about it, because when they actually find out how much debt we or how much money we don't have, it can be very depressing, you know, and people can go in shock. And it's very true. I remember that happened to me. But the main thing, guys, is Black people, we have no money. We are broke. We are poor. And it's getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. I mean, there's about 43 million Black people in this country, 20 million households, Black households. When you take away, you know, depreciating assets, the Black family only has about $1,700 in net worth on average. That's pathetic. You know, to be in the top 5% of Black people in this country, you know, you only need about $350,000 with your mortgage, you know, as opposed to white people to be in the top 5%. That's 10 million. You know, you need a minimum of $10 million. And so there's no amount of there's no amount of the lottos that you can win, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, stock market, whatever, that can close the racial wealth gap. And if you don't have any wealth, you have no power. And we're going to continue to be raped, tortured, and killed like always. And so now, I didn't do all this research myself. I am not an expert in politics or economics. But what I was talking about earlier is the solutions. I just listen to the experts. I say to myself, okay, who are the people that are, who are the historians? Who are the lawyers? Who are the economists that are doing this right now and have been doing this, that have some experience that I can learn from, and we can work together. And there's a gentleman by the name of Dr. William Sandy Darity out of Duke University, and he is an economist among another team of economists, and that's just somebody I kind of want to introduce you to today. And so, Lamont, if you have that clip, you can go ahead and play it.
Got it. And might I shout out? He's a colleague of my wife, by the way.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better.
Let me shout that out real quick, and let's jump on this video. B. Avery. Here we go.
People who talks about reparations. I've quoted you quite a bit in my work. When you think about ways to address the racial wealth gap, and through the lens of reparations, what's one of the most effective steps?
Let me try it again.
And it's only about 2.5 minutes, guys.
Yeah, it's not long at all. Let me try it again. Let me remove it. And let me try it again. So y'all bear with me.
Oh no, take your time. And what I want people to try while he's getting that ready. What I want people, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. What I want people to understand is when I was talking to some of my friends, like one thing, Black people, you have to realize this: we are owed absolutely everything. Black people globally, but specifically Black Americans in this country, we are in America. There would not be in America if it wasn't for us. We built this country. Like the amount of money, the amount of wealth that was generated from hundreds of years of slavery is still circulating in the economy today. And we literally were not allowed to access it by law, which is ridiculous. You know, it is not. And when I was talking to my friends about it, they're so concerned with helping other people first. Like, well, what about the Hispanics? What about the people at the border? What about the Asians? What about, you know, our Black British brothers over here and over there? Yes, they do deserve help, but like this is not, you can't. That's like the equivalent. You know, we can't help anybody else until we help ourselves first. You know, we have to have our own foundation first, and then we will be able to assist. And then that's another thing. It's the language. It is not help. We're not getting help. We're not getting assistance. It is a debt that is owed to us. Imagine you go to work. I don't know if you're off on the weekends, but imagine you go to work on Monday. You work for 2 weeks or a month, and when the paycheck comes, it's not direct deposited into your account, but it's direct deposited into your boss's account or the CEO. You're like, hey, you go to HR. Hey, where's my money? You're like, what are you talking about? Money? That's my money. He's like, no, I work. This is like, and just imagine that happens for 400 years. You're gonna be like, what the hell? That's what happened to us. So we are owed this money, okay? And that is we need it. That's the only way that we will be able to, like, even if we do get reparations, and I'm gonna shoot y'all some numbers here in a little bit, that still won't close the racial wealth gap because it's so large. That will only give us a fighting chance to close the racial wealth gap, because even we're so broke that even if every Black person, including Black immigrants and the brown people, the Hispanics and all the immigrants, even if we put all of our money together and we supported Black businesses for the rest of our life, it's still only going to equal up to 2.6% of the nation's wealth. And at minimum, we're 13%. So if you don't have this mindset that if reparations is the only way to get started, which Dr. Darity is going to be talking about here in just a little bit, I don't mean to be rude, but you're running a fool's errand. You know, I mean, you have a better chance of flying, you know, like you from Dragon Ball Z or something like that. And I'm just being truthful. So, I mean, there's a number of reasons why, I did vote, and I did vote for Biden because I wanted us to get out of the pandemic. But like moving forward, if this is not part of the conversation on a national level, and mind you, state and local is equally important. You know, it's not just the federal. You got to get on your local stuff too. If that is not, if they're not speaking that they're just not going to get my vote. Period. I mean, we've been voting for Democrats for decades. The only reason they win is for us. So that is a little power that we do have, and Black people, we don't realize that. And so Dr. Darity, Dr. Hamilton, Matt Brunig, I'm just listing off economists right now. Professor Mercer Baradaran from Georgia. These are people that are working on this. And so I just really implore you just to listen to them. Get in where you fit in. And even if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. Just save it in the back of your brain, because you may meet somebody next week, next month, next year that may be able to be into this. You can be like, you know what? I remember this guy on YouTube named Brandon. He was talking about this, and the so-and-so's name is so-and-so, so-and-so. Look him up. You know what I'm saying? Get in where you fit in. And that's not even everything, guys. That's still just a small piece of the puzzle, but it's an important piece. So you just have to think that way, you know, because I'm getting flushed there. I'm just so
take a break. I got the video.
Okay.
However, if the visual doesn't play, I'm just gonna let the audio play this
that's
time.
Fine, man. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Here we go.
It's people who talked about reparations. I've quoted you quite a bit in my work. When you think about ways to address the racial wealth gap, and through the lens of reparations, like what's one of the most effective steps you think can be taken immediately?
Well, I want to thank Ryan for introducing reparations into the conversation. I've done a substantial amount of work on this topic, particularly in conjunction with my partner, Kirsten Mullen, and we have a new book on reparations that will be available in April called From Here to Equality. In the final chapter, we try to sketch how you might actually execute a reparations program. I think one of the critical things that we have to recognize is the magnitude of the racial wealth gap. And I think we've talked about the racial wealth gap here, but I don't think we've all.
Oops.
My bad.
Oh, you straight.
Of the scale of that disparity. So if you were to examine the American population as a whole, Black Americans are about 13% of the nation's population, but Black Americans possess less than 3% of the nation's wealth. What that translates into at the average is an $800,000 differential per Black and white household. That is to say, the average Black household has $800,000 less in net worth than the average white household. And I'm talking about looking at the average or the mean instead of the median, which Ryan referred to, because 94% of the wealth that is held by white households is held by white households who have a net worth above the white median. And so if we're thinking about closing the racial wealth gap, we have to think about closing it at the mean rather than at the median to absorb the full differential in the proportion of wealth that's held by the two communities. So if you were to bring the black share of wealth at least to the black share of the population, it would require an additional at least $10 trillion. And so the other kinds of programs or initiatives that we're talking about are not going to come anywhere close to trying to eliminate or eradicate a gap at that magnitude. And so that's why we need to turn to something like a reparations program, which is specifically aimed at building black assets to a level that would be comparable to the level of assets that are held by white Americans on average.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got E-Man in the building. He's come in after we've only got 2 topics done. We've got several left for you, E-Man, but I'm going to come to you next after we get done letting Larry just kind of give your thoughts on what we just heard and how we can go forward, Big Larry.
I'm sorry. Can I finish though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it, man.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you wanna share my screen real quick, just for a second. This is what Dr. William Sandy Darity looks like.
Now you're gonna have to bear with me because my computer is over here freezing. I don't know what's going on.
I'll tell you what. Also, I have a lot of information saved in a PDF. If somebody emails me, bavery@justmyopinion.net, just say send me the info. I'll copy it and paste it and send it to you. But this is William Sandy Darity. He's out of Duke University. He also wrote this book that he was talking about. It came out April of 2020 last year with where I'm at. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can y'all see me?
No. Lamont has it on just Tim right now.
Okay. He wrote this book with his colleague called Kirsten Millen.
Okay.
Oh man.
Did we lose him?
I think we lost. I don't know what is going on over here.
You see what happened, man? Y'all start talking about reparations and the man already perpetrating, man. You see what?
God, oh my man, all I got, I'm stuck on one screen. I can hear y'all. I can't see y'all. My thing is completely frozen. I might have to start this whole thing all the way over.
Oh man.
Yeah, I am frozen. I can't do.
Oh, it won't switch over.
No, it won't do. It won't even let me refresh my screen.
Man, y'all started getting too real up in this.
Hey, well, what I'm gonna do is, it's got to be done. I'm gonna shut everything down, send back out the invites, and then we'll come back in like 15 seconds or something like that, 20 seconds, whatever it takes. All right. Damn, man, what? Okay. Okay, I guess y'all can see me now. We're back. Like E-Man said, whenever you start talking about reparations and what may have you, things go crazy. I'm going to get the fellas back in here and we're going to finish this conversation. I have no idea what happened other than they trying to shut us up, because when we start trying to give people solutions to problems, man, it seems like that's when the boogeyman wants to come. But B. Avery hit the nail on the head. Dr. Garrity is outstanding. He's someone I really encourage everyone to give an opportunity to listen to him. He's done some great work. He's done some great economics work, and would be a feather in everybody's cap to just take a look at. Society has so taken the Black perception of wealth and has just done crazy stuff with it. We are a type of society that we spend a lot of money, but we don't monitor how we're making that money go for us in terms of investments. I'm from the hood. I'm from poverty. My parents and my grandmother and mother, they wasn't out here trying to floss or anything like that. People that was trying to floss was the people around me, my fellow students, classmates, other folks in the hood. They was the ones trying to floss and wear all this bull jive. And so at an early age, you're thinking that you need to be spending to fit an image that you really don't need to be fitting, when you should be trying to take your money to put it somewhere so that it can invest and grow. All right, now we're getting the fellas back here. Now we loud and clear. So be Avery, go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Hold on, let me email was asking the question. Yes.
There we go.
Same link. Okay.
Back. All right.
Oh, my fault. Okay, let me shut up. You got it. So yeah, like I was saying, man, I picked this book up last year. It's called, this is the book he was talking about, From Here to Equality. How many pages is this? It's a few, about 400 pages. I'm kind of ADD when it comes to books, so I've only read the first chapter, and then me and some friends started reading another book. But I'm going to get back into this next week, or sometime next week. And when Lamont was like, "Hey, what do y'all want to talk about?" I was like, "Well, if I'm going to get into it, you know what I'm saying, let me tell everybody else as well." The first chapter of this book talks about every reparations attempt that has been made since 1865, since slavery was abolished, up until now. Talks about the good, the bad. That's something that you have to know. I haven't read it yet, but he says that the last chapter in the book is a realistic sketch or draft of how reparations can be drawn out. And in that video, he said $10 trillion. He was that was a short video. There's stuff about him all on the internet with different groups. It's TED Talks, ADOS. He's also one of the economists that's working with Ice Cube, because when Ice Cube first came out, his plan was ridiculous. But people approached him like, "Hey, I'm an expert in this field. And Ice Cube started listening, and these are one of the economists that Ice Cube started listening to. So that's dope right there. One reason why I support him. But when he was talking about in the video $10 trillion, it's really for the American claim about $17 to $18 trillion, and that's not cash money. No. That comes in multiple forms, like guaranteed land, guaranteed home ownership, guaranteed health care, guaranteed transportation, guaranteed education, and government protection. We also have the international claim, because there are foreign countries that owe Black Americans as well, because cotton was it went around the world. And so there's a French economist by the name of Thomas Piketty that has a book as well called Capital in the 21st Century. Now, this is a thick book as well. It's like 700 pages. However, if you don't want to read a 700-page book, there is a documentary on Netflix, or at least it was. I don't know if they took it down. That is a summary of this, and it's very, very good. I shared it with my brother. So if you want to know where the money reside and how trillions and billions of dollars has been shifting around since like the 1600s, watch the documentary on Netflix. And there's this another book right here, the Half That Has Never Been Told. Everybody told me that this book is fire. This is also on my list. This will help increase your political and economic education as far as the debt that is owed to us. And so when Lamont played that horrible clip of us getting executed earlier, that's just because we don't have power. And one of the things we need is economic power. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that is one of the things we need. And Darity and other economists and professors and et cetera, they are working. Dr. Claude Anderson, that they are working on this. So, you're going to have to do your homework. Bob Johnson came out with a whack one-page syllabus that didn't make any sense. No, we can't rely on that. He's not an expert. And I don't mean to crap on him, but he stole a bunch of information from these people and didn't want to give them credit. And so if you want to make change, man, we're going to have to just read and engage and pass this information down to our kids and our children and all that stuff, because it's not gonna. And when I told y'all earlier that white dude came and approached me, he knew what was up. He knew. He was like, Brennan, at the very least, it's gonna take 40 years, and I'm ready to bleed. I mean, he knew what the deal was. You know what I'm saying? If any of my white people out there, if I got any white allies in the chat, I don't know, but here's 2 ways you can be an ally, and it don't cost you no money. One thing that you can do is, from now on to the rest of your life, when you come across a black person or any person of color, no matter what, tell them the truth. No matter what, I don't care what the subject matter is, unless it's your personal banking information or medical records. You know, of course, keep that personal. But no matter what it is, never ever lie to a black person or any person of color. Never. Always tell them the truth, no matter what, especially about your group. Something else you can do is, anytime there's an opportunity for advancement, an opportunity to come up in life, pass that information along to a black person, a person of color. But that doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of it either, but just pass it along. Hey, they don't cost you no money or nothing like that. You don't even got to change your life. And so
hey, that's real talk.
That's
real talk for real.
Yeah, and God, I didn't know the stuff I'm saying. I'm not a know-it-all. You know, I didn't really start getting into this until Alton Sterling and Philomena Castile died. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I am tired of it. And I just started paying attention more and more, like, who are the black people that are talking about this, are trying to do stuff? And that's how I just started to compile all this information, you know, over the past few years. And so if I can do it, you can do it too. Because 10 years ago, I was just trying to get on hoes and smoke weed all day. That's all I was trying to do. But, you know, that won't amount to nothing. I'm just being real. So, you know, we can always talk about this. We have to talk about this, not just here tonight. We need to always have these conversations as much as possible. But that's all I'm gonna say today. Just as a brief, you know, a brief intro. And you know, if anybody want to continue the conversation, you know how to get in contact with me. So,
okay. Larry, any quick thoughts on the wealth gap?
Sorry I took so long.
Oh, you good?
No, that's I mean, it's yeah, I guess I do some thoughts. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to probably say this is not the way you should do it, but
oh boy.
No, but and I say this in all seriousness. I think for at least a good solid generation or two, we should have black men, black women too, but because these are male dominated fields, we should have black men in mass numbers join the military and join our local and state police departments, because we need to be put in positions where we can protect our brothers out there. Because when we see these shootings, when we see these violent attacks where people are being tased and they're being beaten and kicked in the face and all this stuff, they're hordes of white officers. We're not seeing black officers doing this. Sometimes we see black officers around the peripheral, but we generally don't see them doing this. And we need to be in positions where we can protect each other. Not only that, the reality of it is, I'm not trying to dog anybody out there. So if I sound like some sort of elitist, I apologize. That's not what I mean. Not everybody's built for college life. You know, all of us in here are all college educated. Some of us have advanced degrees, and not everybody is built for that. Some people don't have the will or the discipline or the intellect or simply the finances to be able to go do it. And so there are jobs that allow you to have a good life, to build income. And a couple of those places are, one is the military. Not only does it allow you to have a place where that you can earn a retirement and you can have money and get housing, but it also will train you it will train you so that when you need to pick up arms and defend your community, you will know how to do so. You'll know how to do it. You'll know how to train others how to do it. You know, and the same thing with the police departments. You can go and become a police officer. You don't need a master's degree. You know, you can go and become an officer and make a decent living. You can make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 or more, depending on if you're in a big city. You can have a decent life, and at the same time, you're able to protect the men and women that are very, very vulnerable. And a lot of people, you know, for a long time, black people were locked out of those types of jobs. And a lot of white wealth was built because there were people that were functional idiots in a lot of ways that were able to do really good jobs because they were able to join a union, whether it be a police union or one of those Masonic, unions or something, whatever it is that they were able to do so they can become a builder or a landscaper or a ditch digger. They were able to go and get those good jobs and build wealth. They were able to buy homes and build equity and then send their kids to college on the backs of that equity. And their kids can then get better jobs and attain more wealth. And they have generations of a lead in front of us. Even just looking back so far as, just as recently as World War II, when you had all of these vets that came out of World War II and were able to take advantage of the GI Bill, black people were not able to do that. Black men were denied access to the GI Bill for which they earned.
Yep.
They were not able to take advantage of it. They were denied VA home loans so that they couldn't buy homes and take advantage of that. Black people back in the day, when we bought homes, we couldn't buy homes on credit. Yep. We saved up and bought homes
cash, homie,
because you couldn't get a mortgage. So
Larry, that is if you didn't get redlined.
Right.
Right. And so when people talk about, my dad did it, my grandpa did it, how come you can't? Because your grandpa was able to go and take $200, $300 to a bank and say, I would like a home loan, and go get a home, because homes didn't cost, what do we do now? You go get a home that costs $3,000, you brought them 10%, and they give you a mortgage. Black people don't have those options. They saved up and saved up and saved up, and then somebody may have died and gave them a life insurance policy, and they took all that money and they bought a house. And that's why it was so important that people pass those houses down. But what would happen is you would end up with these people. They would take these homes, they'd pass them down. The kids didn't understand what that meant. They didn't understand what was going on. And there would be a neighborhood that got gentrified, and the white people would come in and say, I'll give you $75,000 for that home. And a lot of black people who had never seen any money in their life think, $75,000, that's a huge amount of money. And so they sell that home, not knowing that home was worth $500,000, and so we need to do some of those jobs that we don't always want to do. I know everybody wants to be a ball player, everybody wants to be a singer, everybody wants to be an actor, everybody wants to be a social media influencer, everybody wants to do something big and lofty, and that's great for those who can. But there's a lot of other people out there that should go and become police officers, deputy sheriffs. My dad was a deputy sheriff for 33 years. He was able to get us in a position that we could go to college, that we didn't need to be out in the streets running around selling drugs or acting a fool. We were able to actually do things. My mom was an attorney and became a prosecutor. They were able to do things that were not real popular with black folks, but they were able to actually build a little wealth and actually able to help us move forward in life. And black folks need to do some of that, partly because we need to be able to protect ourselves, and getting in those positions will help protect us. And part of it is too, it's a matter of building wealth for those people who are not always going to be part of the talented 10th, as they say. And I hate to use that expression, because I know that I am part of that talented 10th.
It's all good, brother. Well said.
Well said.
E-Man, finish this up, and then we'll go into your story next.
Man, so I guess I'll compliment a lot of what both of y'all said in some degree. I mean, I think knowledge is power, right? And we hear that so much that it's a cliche, but it literally really is power in this society, right? And that is something that, I mean, you're talking about when you look at the history on the books, ironically, black people are the only people that were like denied the right to read. It was against the law for us to just read, right. And you have to think about like what was so dangerous about us reading. Knowledge, because the more we know, the more powerful we are. And I think that goes into so many different things. I mean, Larry's right. Going into those unconventional jobs is something, but the thing is the complexity of the black problem, the racial wealth gap is literally just one problem. It's just one problem that we have. Now, of course, if we can solve that, it can trickle down and bleed into other situations, but it's literally just one thing that we have to tackle. So it's kind of like, yeah, we do need some more people that are policemen or, you know, in military or whatever, but that still doesn't solve very much, right? Because we still need people that are making the actual laws and legislation and policies. That still doesn't really solve things, right? We still need, and I am very, very impassionate about this. We need black educators. We need black.
We do.
I was just talking to my homeboy about the fact that it took until high school for me to see my first black male teacher.
Bro,
What?
High school.
Bruh, same, bro.
What?
That was the first time I ever saw, and I went to a predominantly black grade school, elementary school, middle school, all of that. I lived in a black neighborhood, and it took forever just to see one black male teacher. I didn't even have his classes. You know what I'm saying? But like the thing is, they're so influential, especially for, you know, black men. We look up, or black boys, we look up to black men. Black women will look up to, you know, black girls, to women, and so you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important in terms of like guiding. I mean, just my little 4-year-old daughter. I'm sitting here remote learning with her. She's watching all this animated stuff, but I found this sister who's actually doing like preschool learning on YouTube, Miss Monica, and my kid is like glued to the TV, glued way more than any other cartoon learning program out there. So stuff like that matters. But going back to the racial wealth gap and stuff, the other part of what Brandon was talking about, yes, it's important for white folks because a lot of times white folks do have that knowledge that probably got passed down because of all the networking that they have access to.
And nepotism.
And nepotism, of course. It is so, I could tell you so many stories as being just a critic. How many times I've talked to my white colleagues asking for just advice. Yo, how do you do this? How do you get into screeners? How do you do that? Nothing. Nothing. They don't tell me nothing. And I have to go learn the hard way. I have to almost get banned. I have to almost get, you know, violate, you know, embargoes or whatever. I'm learning the hard way because all these people that are already in this industry didn't want to give me a leg up, didn't want to tell me nothing. That's why, like, when I'm networking with you brothers, if y'all got a question, I got you. Because I know what it felt like to be iced out like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's something that we always have to do, is we do have to share and network our information amongst each other, because a lot of times the reason why we're in the position we're in is due to a lack of knowledge. And just again, because I don't want to go too long with this, but just to bring this back, you have to think about financial literacy. I don't care if you're a tradesman to a PhD, you're going to use money. You need to learn how to use it. You need to learn the 3 basics: saving, budgeting, investing. If you could, this is what I'm teaching my kids right now. They said that the younger you teach your kids, like, just to have a bank account, the more exposure they get, the more financially literate and sound they will get down the road. That is where we need to start, because it does, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are in life. You're going to pay taxes. You're going to have debt to deal with. You're going to have money. Financial literacy is the thing. I don't care what you're doing. Go pick up a financial literacy book. I'm not talking about how to get rich quick. I'm just talking about the basics. Go get an Investing for Dummies book. Don't feel insulted. Literally go take it. It will open up your eyes to all these. Don't look for the get rich quick schemes. That's not important, because if it was that easy, everybody would do it.
And nobody would put that information in the book that they're trying to sell you either.
Matter of fact, it's a hustle just to do that. It's a hustle just to sell you information. But if you can take the time, you got a channel like this, Life Gains, investing information all day. Come and support that, because this is how you get to learn little basics and stuff that help decrease that racial wealth gap. It's financial literacy. That's one element if we're just talking about the wealth gap aspect, because it still bleeds into political stuff. We as a community, because I like what Dr. Claude Anderson talks about, we need those power economics. We need to gain that capital. We sitting here giving our money to Nike and to all these other brands and stuff. We letting rappers and people influence us and entertain. You know what it is. Brandon knows the deal.
Powernomics.
It's all about where do you put your money?
Right.
Because your money, our money in our community talks.
Exactly.
What do other communities do? What do rich, affluent, white suburban country, areas do? They buy politicians.
Yep.
They go grease them fundraisers. That's how they network. That's how they get laws passed. That's how they get policies through. What are we doing? Yo, I need them mics. I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to be preachy, but I need us to understand the difference. We've been conditioned to buying liabilities, not assets.
Exactly.
A car is a liability. A car don't do nothing for you unless you're an Uber driver and it's making you money.
Or you get a Tesla.
Man, whatever, man. You keep your Tesla down. But I'm just saying, I need you to shift your thinking. Just everybody shift your thinking. If whatever you're putting your money in does not make you more money, it's a liability.
Liability. All day.
It's literally eating up your money. If you put money in something and then it comes back to you, now it's an asset or an investment. That's what, when they say money making money, that's the game. That's been the game. They used us through slavery to make them money.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Can I say something else real quick? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So, you made me think about this because you was talking about the wealth gap, and you was like, that's just one problem. The comment that Lamont was highlighting up there, and I pasted again. Like, we Black people, the goal, we need to have control over all 9 of these areas of activity across the globe. Like, we need to be in control of our own economics, our own education.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're in control of our own entertainment, labor law, politics, religion. If you're not religious, that's fine. But if you are religious, don't be worshiping a white Jesus or a white God. That don't make sense.
Yes.
Okay, that's how I'm saying there. Make sure you have the most constructive sex out there. If you're about to engage, if you're married, okay, have sex with your spouse and don't commit adultery. If you're not married, if you're gonna have sex, like, okay, is this sex constructive or non-constructive? Also, we got to be able to defend ourselves. So those are the 9 areas of activity. We got to engage in all of them. And the white supremacists have us on lockdown on each of those areas. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, who was a Black psychiatrist and psychologist, a Black psychologist and psychiatrist, I think I just said the same thing. She passed away in 2016. I love her race theory because majority of us have a very elementary understanding of race. So I would check that out too. She came up with the 10th area, which is medicine. That still kind of plays into the other one, but if you want to get nitpicky, you can. And just the last thing I want to share before we move on, hopefully it'll work this time. If you want to share if I can share my screen, let me click the button real quick. This is a report that like William Sandy Darity that we was talking about earlier. He wrote this with a few other economists. It's called "What We Get Wrong About Closing the Racial Wealth Gap." If you just Google that title, it'll come up, and it's 67 pages long. Okay, just read it at your own leisure. It's just good information. It's good education. It just talks about the racial wealth gap, huh?
I'll say y'all better be taking notes.
Yeah. So please, I'm trying to give y'all some information here. That'll help. So just look. I'm doing what I can. Pay attention to it at your own leisure. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. It's the increasing education and engaging. And the last book that MLK wrote before he was assassinated, Where Do We Go From Here? One of the things at the end of this book that he said is it takes a combination of education and social action.
Yep.
Okay, you have to educate yourself,
right?
But even if
and
you
then
educate
you go
yourself, you gotta talk to other Black people about it. Okay, I read this book and I read this book. Okay, I read these books. Let's put all this together.
Knowledge
and there you go. So I'm done. But
no, you good. Hey, I just before we move on, I just wanted to highlight this. Y'all know I'm in Chicago. She's speaking facts right here. Okay, this is something that I went look just with my kids because I live in the burbs now. Just with my kids, when I went to high school, I was top 4 in my high school class, all of that, honors class, AP, all of the good stuff. I thought I was smart. And I went to college and I was like, what's this? And they were like, oh, this is just review. I was like, review? This is new to me. What is this engineering 100 class? What are y'all talking about? How do y'all know that? Everybody else around me is just like, la 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 la. I'm like, I'm studying my butt off for the first week of class, because in my Black dominated area school, they didn't teach us none of this. Now, luckily, I've been fortunate. You know, me and my wife, we've stacked our money enough and, you know, have a decent living to put our kids in a better school. And it's like, I'm looking at my daughter who's about to go to high school, and I'm like, yo, you got mechanical and engineering and all the, how are you getting these classes in high school that I was introduced to in college? You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the education, and of course, the school that she's going to is, well, it's mixed. It's not all white, but it's a pretty good school. Luckily, we ain't got to pay private school or nothing. But the difference is ridiculous when it comes to the exposure of education. That's why, like, anyway, regardless of what they was going to introduce her to, I'm still trying to teach my kids stuff at home. And that's also equally important. But you got to educate yourself. Just like Brandon was talking about. You got to educate yourself so you can pass that knowledge down. So that way we're not sending our kids out there ill-prepared and ill-equipped. But anyway, let me leave it at that.
Well said, fellas. I think I'll just put in my small 2 cents, then we'll go ahead, E-Man, we'll let you introduce your story. For those of you that feel like you don't have any of these capabilities, there's a capability we all have. It just took one white dude to create it and put it on an electronic platform called Facebook. Each and every one of you has the ability to network with people you see that have your mindset, your heart, or are doing better than you. You can just reach out to them and say, look, I want to learn from you. I want to network with you. What can I do to be in your good graces or be of some service to you? Me personally, every one of these men that's educating you guys, I reached out to all of them individually. Not because I wanted anything, but I just want to network with them. I saw good in these brothers. I saw that there was a message that they could get across that could not only inspire someone, but educate someone besides just the great entertainment value that they all bring. And you know what? Anything I got, they got. All the knowledge I have, they have. Resources I got, they got. Networking is also a foundation for anyone can have, no matter how broke you are. And I just want to throw that 2 cents in there too. And I'm grateful to have these brothers in my corner.
Thank you.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, we will get on with the entertainment piece of what's going on. And this story belongs all to E-Man. and I got one better for you, E-Man. I'm going to post it with a caption. Let me post this caption for you real quick. And then you can go ahead and break the story down and drop into it. So there you go. That's all you need right there.
That's it. Look, this is simple. We just got done talking about this on my live just earlier today. Kevin Feige is having regrets on casting Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. Okay? Now he feels bad. Now he feels like they messed up.
Wait a minute, okay. E-Man, can I stop you for a minute?
Please, go ahead, bro.
Now, we wasn't talking when this movie came out.
Yeah.
But I put out a video saying, what the hell are we doing here? And I remember you didn't say it the way I said it. You didn't say it, but you had questions about it. I remember it. I remember you had questions about it.
I think the main question was, why? Why?
See, I'm trying to be nice about the way you did it. Why? But go ahead, finish, E-Man. Go ahead, finish.
No, I mean, look, you know, this is an example of Marvel trying to be a little too woke for their own good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I show them what she really looked like?
The Ancient One?
Yeah. No. Tilda Swinton. Yeah. Let me show you what she really looked like. And I got the Ancient One too.
Yeah. Yeah. Show them the original Ancient One though. Oh, she replaced
the original Ancient One.
The original Ancient One from the comics.
Go ahead and finish your diatribe.
It's from Tibet. And again, this is a situation of Marvel trying to do a little too much, too fast, too hard, trying to be a little too woke for their own good. I mean, the example or the explanation that was given was that, and this came from Scott Derrickson, the director of Doctor Strange. When it came to casting for diversity, they were like, "Oh, the Ancient One is like this old, wise Asian character from Tibet," and they were like, "You know what? To be diverse, we're gonna put a middle-aged white woman in because that's diversity." And I mean, they wanted to avoid the cliche. They wanted to avoid the cliche of having, the ancient, the wise old sensei or whatever they want to call it. But at the same time, it was like, yo, but you're also like you're also taking away an opportunity for an Asian actor too.
Right.
Tilda she ain't hurting for no roles.
Sure ain't.
Tilda can get a role anywhere else. Okay. She will be all right. And this is not an issue about her performance. I thought she did a wonderful job as the Ancient One. I had no issue with that. They actually went out of their way, again, trying to do too much and be overly woke. They went out of their way and rewrote the background of the Ancient One for the MCU and said that, oh, this one is not from Tibet. They might live there, but they're from a Celtic background to match with her.
I have problems with that.
Again, when you have to do the mental gymnastics in this type of stuff, that's a clear sign that you're doing a little too much. Okay. And this is not the first time Marvel has gone through this. It was just announced that WandaVision, they took out Doctor Strange. He was supposed to be in WandaVision.
What?
Yeah.
He was supposed to show up. It was in the script. And I told y'all, if you've been watching my breakdowns on my channel, I told y'all Doctor Strange should have shown up. There were signs that he was showing up, but they took it out the script. Okay. And they took it out because they didn't want the white man. And this is coming from Kevin Feige, the white man. They didn't want the white man to come in and distract away from Wanda and tell her, hey, this is how magic works. So again, this is a matter of being a little overly woke, because they didn't want Doctor Strange to overshadow Wanda and white splain or white mansplain. I don't know, whatever the new terms are today. They didn't want him to come in and do that to Wanda and upstage her. And I'm sitting here like, what are y'all doing? Like, who is in y'all meeting rooms that y'all are thinking all this stuff way too deep? I don't think anybody, it depends on how you bring Doctor Strange in. If you come in and say like, hey, I'm about to be your savior, then okay, fine. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. But if you come in and say like, yo, Doctor Strange is trying to contact her, but he can't get through, mainly because I was about to call it a Phoenix. mainly because the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Maybe he can't get through to her. But at least he tried.
Right.
What were so many people asking during WandaVision? Where the hell is Doctor Strange? Bro, you got one job. One. Be the police of magic. Got a whole town in hostage, all the magic bubbles and everything, and you just MIA. You chilling in the multiverse with Loki or something. I don't know. But again, I say this all because you already know I gotta go there. This is why I can't trust Marvel with recasting T'Challa in the Black Panther franchise. This is why I have trust issues with them when it comes to Black representation, because I don't think that they always get it right. They overthink things. They try to be overly woke. You would really expect the same people that were in charge of Black Panther, and I'm not saying they racist. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying that they have their hearts in the right place, but they still have blind spots. These are the same people that were in charge of Black Panther that had reservations about having them have African accents.
I remember that, bro. I forgot.
Chadwick had to fight.
They talked about that. Yeah.
Chadwick had to fight to get them to have African accents and not British accents. Wakanda never influenced, never colonized, never enslaved. Y'all actually thought about giving them British accents?
God.
Insane.
Lord,
is this y'all movie studio? Like, is this y'all movie? This is what I'm saying. I love what Marvel does. I like the initiative that they got. We cannot give them blind faith. Yes, they've done great things, but they're still human. They have blind spots.
Thank you, bro, for saying that, man.
I'm just saying, these are still people. They're not going to always get it right. They've already expressed regret multiple times when it comes to representation. And we want to trust them with our black representation?
Larry, take the wheel, Larry. What thoughts on Kevin Feige saying that he messed up here? And what is it going to take for us to trust Kevin Feige?
I mean, I think this one's a fairly easy fix. I think they could just simply say, because you're dealing with magic, you can just simply say, so-and-so reveal yourself, and just have her current shell shed off of her and have an Asian actor underneath it. That's it. You just shed it with the magic for whatever reason. This is the way that the Ancient One decided it wanted to present itself at this moment, and then you just simply they just shed off that shell and reveal their true self. That seems like an easy fix right there.
Bro, they do this on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all the time. People be having a whole different face, and they just reveal something. Yep. If we could sit here and watch aliens and wizards fight, they can swap out this character.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a very simple fix, and it may take a line or two of dialogue to set it up, and then boom, it's done, and you're moved on. The audience would accept it in a heartbeat, partly because you're talking about magic. You're talking about a magical person doing magic. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult of a fix. It just seems they just need to have the will to do it.
I agree.
Good one. B.A. I see the wheels spinning, B.A.
No, I don't got much. But well said. From all sides, when I was very disappointed about this because
B.A. I forgot that Miley Cyrus is getting cast as a new Shuri.
That's crazy.
No.
Anyway, Doctor Strange was introduced to me from the animated movie. And so I was already fixated on like a Asian fulfilling the role. So I was highly disappointed. Like E-Man said, she did a great job, but it does suck. I do like Larry's idea. We're dealing with the multiverse and madness. So we already got a new Loki coming through. So it can be easily fixed. I have to say though, I do respect Kevin Feige for at least coming out and saying that he regrets it and made a mistake.
Agreed.
He didn't have to do that. A lot of these producers and executives, they have egos, and they will never do that. So
this is true.
I do respect him there for that. As far as like trusting Kevin Feige, I mean, if he's able to come out and admit that he was wrong, well, I wasn't gonna say I trust him, but then again, they haven't recast T'Challa yet, so I don't know. I think everything will be fine, but I'm just glad that he said this at least, and he's aware of that. And like you said, E-Man, I love that you said these are human beings, because a lot of people be thinking that these producers, executives, CEOs are like magical beings from Planet X. They're like I said, they're human beings. They have jobs just like we do. I make mistakes on my job. Everybody makes mistakes on their job. Just because it's in Hollywood does not mean that they don't make mistakes either. That main reason why AT&T is falling apart, but that's another topic. Stupid decisions. But yeah, I'm glad he admitted he was wrong.
Hey, I told you that was a dumb decision from the jump.
This is another one of those reasons why there needs to be more minority representation in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Not just because you can have somebody in the room, but you need to have enough opportunity out there that someone feels safe that they could get another job if they're fired. Because what happens is you get people that get in the room and they've worked their ass off to get in that room, and they're terrified that they'll get put out if they speak up too much or speak up too forcefully, and they won't be able to find another job, and they don't have another 25 years to put in to get back into the room. So you need enough opportunity. If a white person, if some producer gets fired, they pick up another job
and they go to another studio. Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, man.
And so there needs to be more opportunity for minorities out there, so that if you are in the room with Kevin Feige and you tell him, look, no, you can't do this, man. This is a dumbass decision. You're gonna regret it later, and you push back forcefully, and finally they just say, you know, we're tired of this dude. We're firing his ass. You're gone. Well, we should be in a position where you feel safe. Like, okay, if I pushed and I get let go because of this, that I can go over. Maybe I'm not at Marvel. Maybe I go over to MGM or Fox or something, and they hire me there, and I'm good. And then 5 years later, when Kevin Feige wakes up and realizes, oh crap, he was right. I made a dumbass mistake. It's okay because you've been working that whole time.
I mean, you know? Look, to Larry's point, because I think that's a very good point to think about. When you look at Black Panther, for example, look at the producers that are involved. You know, like Nate Moore was like the only Black producer, I want to say, that was there. I don't know if Coogler got producer credit also, but I'm just sitting here thinking, like, when I look at the vast list of people that are executive producers, like people with power, again, it doesn't matter if you just have someone in the room. Does that person have power? It's not about quantity. It's also about quality too. Do they have the ability to say, hey, stop, that's whack. Hey, stop, don't do that. You know, I'm wondering how many Asian executive producers were on board for Doctor Strange. How many people that were there that had that level of insight to be like I was just doing the live just right before this, and I had 2 Asian people vastly disagree about this. I didn't know. I had no idea. You know, one person was like, man, we had no problem with Tilda. It was cool for us. And then another person was like, hey, don't talk for all Asians. I didn't like it.
There you go.
Right.
I was sitting there like, okay, all right. Okay. I'm out of it. It's not my fight. You know what I'm saying? But I respect the fact that that's how they feel. Yeah. So again, who's in the room making these conversations happen or not? If we're talking about, you know, Shang-Chi, how many Asian people are in that room making decisions? The
whole room should have been Asian.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Like I'm cool with the fact that like Kevin Feige might be up there because, you know, sometimes even if you're at the top of the food chain, it's also very important to surround yourself with people that can cover your blind spots.
Yes. What he means, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want yes men in your corner. Right. You need someone that's going to be objective in your corner.
And diverse. They have to come with a different perspective, a different mindset, a different world experience or whatever. Something that's not just like you. Because if you know, if we all lived in the same white supremacist rich neighborhood, it don't matter if I'm white or black. We probably share the same mindset.
He talking about Cracker Bread, Kansas. Everybody from Cracker Bread, Kansas.
No, what he's saying is truth. I mean, it's can't. True. If you're Kevin Feige and you want a second opinion, don't go down the street and ask your black buddy who went to Exeter and then went to Princeton and now works at, you know, and is living in the same neighborhood. This dude grew up in the same sort of white bread experience that you had. He may be black and had a slightly different experience, but he's still gonna have a very similar mindset in a lot of ways. Right. Yeah. And maybe in some ways also he still doesn't want to upset you. He doesn't want to push back. Right. He doesn't want to get kicked off of the neighborhood watch committee or something. And so
country club,
need to step off. You know, you need to step out and go somewhere else. Go ask people that are part of, you know, the Black Film Critics Association or something, or you know, or head down, go reach out to somebody at Howard University's film school or you know, or wherever. Go
talk to Spike Lee. I don't know, something.
Exactly.
Go find some other people that are not in your normal sphere and see what they have to say.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we move to the next subject, which solely belongs to Larry and deals with superheroes, I want to say, please subscribe to all these brothers' channels. You see the rich contexture and diversity you get from these brothers. They put out great content, but more importantly, they inform your mind as they entertain your eyes. So be sure to subscribe to these brothers' channel. Larry, it's your turn It's your boy Jake Tapper, as I call him, aka Jake Tap That Ass. He has some strong comments he made on Conan O'Brien that he didn't agree superheroes should be commingling from going from Marvel to DC, DC back and forth to Marvel. Larry, introduce us to your story and give us your.
This is new to me.
I got to see people's faces when I.
This is new to me.
Larry, introduce your story and give us what you think.
I love this, but when I saw this, he was saying that he did not think that people should be going back and forth from one universe to the other.
Here's the quote. Here's the quote. You
Who
can
is
read it
doing
if you
this?
want. This is Jake Tapper on Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
Go ahead. You gonna read it?
Oh, I was gonna. It's your story.
I thought you were reading it.
I wasn't sure which part you wanted to. Go ahead. You take it. Read it up, and we'll talk about it.
I'll give you the part where he says, when the example of Ryan Reynolds was brought up with Tapper, asked whether him starring as Hal Jordan Green Lantern meant he shouldn't have played Deadpool. This is what Jake Tapper said on Conan O'Brien. Yes, I submit that there are sacrifices that one makes for principle. That's what principles are. You should uphold them even if sometimes it's inconvenient. Like you honor democracy even if your candidate loses. Jake Tapper, and this is Jake Tapper, CNN's Jake Tapper, he's not with this flip-flopping from DC to Marvel. Larry, give us your 2 cents. And he was highly critical of Ryan Reynolds going from Green Lantern, that I hate to admit this to y'all, I actually liked it, to Deadpool. Yeah, I ain't gonna, and I love the video game, but that's neither here nor there. But Larry dropped his thoughts on it.
It was interesting that with that, and they did clear it up a little bit later in the article where it says that that Ryan Reynolds actually played the Deadpool character first. So what he should have done is not have played Green Lantern, if he was going by the Jake Tapper rule. But it's interesting because he's talking about going back and forth, but there are people with what was that?
I'm just saying he's just gonna leave that picture up. I'm trying to take you seriously, Larry. He's just trying to sabotage you with Deadpool all naked on the screen. Like I'm trying to pay attention to what Larry's saying.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, we've seen where there have been actors that have played more than one character in the same universe. Even you have Josh Brolin, who plays both Thanos and what's his name from Deadpool? Cable. So I mean, it's possible. I think where the problem comes in is when you can see the person's face regularly and you associate that person with one particular character, and then they move over to the other universe or another character. It's hard. It can be hard for people to make that separation. Like, I think it would be difficult for a lot of people to see. God, I'm blanking on all these names now. Dude that plays Superman right now.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. I think it would be difficult for people to see Henry Cavill go over to the MCU and play a superhero because they see him as Superman. But I think what he did is smart right now, where he went and he's in The Witcher and he's playing that role. And then he can possibly come over to the MCU. I think he would do better in the MCU if he came over and played a villain rather than a superhero. I think that would probably serve him better career-wise and would be easier for people to accept. But it's difficult, I think, at times for people. Like I have to admit, I would have a hard time if all of a sudden, I'm looking over in DC and and what's his name that plays Wolverine is over there on DC playing some character. I would be like, wait a minute, what's Wolverine doing over here?
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman.
It takes a little time. I think part of it is you need to take a little break so that you can I think you need to take a break. It would help if there's another person that comes in and takes over that role. So there's a little bit of time to flush you out of it and clear and allow people to clear their palate of you in that role. And then you can move on to something else. Or if you go and play another role and they don't ever see your face, then it's a different story, because then, like even something with Josh Brolin, we saw his face as Thanos, but his face was all distorted. It was total. It was it wasn't. You weren't seeing him as him. So
okay,
but
all right, I'm with you, Larry. B. Avery, thoughts on Jake Tapper trying to tap into his inner geek and say that these people shouldn't be crossing over in these universes?
For the most part, I agree with Tapper.
Oh,
because to a degree, because as far as the Deadpool Green Lantern thing, that really doesn't count to me because Green Lantern was his own standalone film that failed over 10 years ago, and it's not part of a cinematic universe. So I'm not tripping on that. However, what's up? What's up?
You got to be all like that with Green Lantern. It was entertaining.
That movie was not. I mean, if you liked it, that's fine. You know, that's cool.
It had some value. It had some value.
I remember giving it a 5 out of 10. But
got to be more careful.
No, but as far
but you
as
ain't pull out the bleach.
No, I didn't pull out the bleach. I don't think I had the bleach then. But but like for current universes right now, like the MCU. And if let's just pretend for hypothetical sake, for argument's sake, that the DCEU it was actually standard, or that wasn't going anywhere. I don't want to see characters jumping back and forth between the MCU and the DCEU. That would be too jarring for me. I wouldn't like it unless it was an example like Larry said, to where they're not showing their face. Another thing that's kind of weird for me: Christian Bale as Batman with Nolan, but now is in he's God the Butcher or whatever in Thor: The Dark World. What if in the DCEU they want to do a multiverse for Batman or something, have Owlman or something, and then you're gonna have Christian Bale again? Like that's just too weird for me. I'm not cool with it. There are too many actresses out there that can fulfill these roles instead of repeating the same thing over and over and over again. That's where superhero fatigue may come, because the same people playing the same characters. So it's if it's in like a current universe, like we have a Marvel parallel to DCEU, I don't want them jumping back and forth. But if it's like a universe that's been disbanded or discontinued, like the Fox franchise or Green Lantern or something like that, then that's no big deal to me.
Okay. E-Man, finish this story off for.
Hey man, put his quote back up. I just want to see
something. Oh God,
you want to break it down?
I've already trashed the quote.
Oh, you trashed it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just give you my first.
But I'll put this up for you.
No, but come on, man. Come on, man. I'm trying to think.
I gotta eat after.
You got all these distractions. All right, man.
Okay, Look, I'll give you Jake Tapper. How about that?
I mean, what the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? His quote didn't even make sense to whatever the hell they was talking about with Green Lantern and Deadpool, and he talking about some liberties and the civil this and the you have to. What are you talking about? Actors.
No, man, Jake Tapper is a CNN.
Bro, he needs to stay in his own lane. Okay. How many times have we seen journalists go from Fox News to CNN or CNN to MSNBC? Are they not allowed to cross over too? Because then that'll be too confusing. Man, miss me with all that mess. First of all, let me go to one point that B said, because I wrote a whole essay on this. I did a whole video on it. There's no such thing as superhero fatigue unless the movies suck.
Right.
That is the only way people get tired of superhero movies. It's the only way you get tired of any movie. We hate terrible movies. We love good movies. If you keep chucking out good quality superhero movies,
like Green Lantern,
stop it. People are going to go with that. And I would also translate that to the performances. It also depends on the actor. If you take Chris Hemsworth as Thor, but then you go make him He-Man, and he's able to do two distinctly different performances, you will not have a problem with that. Stop playing. We do this all the time. No one sat here. Hold on. No one sat here and was like, oh man, I can't tell the difference between Rambo and Rocky. Oh man, I can't tell the difference between Commando and Terminator. We know how to do this. Our brains are sophisticated. It's not a big deal if an actor goes from one property to another, if they are able to distinctly make their performance different enough. Now, if they go in and they're doing something like if Superman, Henry Cavill, if he goes in and he also goes to Marvel and plays Hyperion, which is like a very similar, role or whatever. Now, yes, I'm with you on that. But if he goes in and he plays a vastly different character, let's say he was Drax, since Batista doesn't want to do the role no more. If he goes in and he's Drax, ain't nobody finna sit here and be like, what's Superman doing there in green makeup? No one's going to say that. It's not gonna happen.
But that's the thing. You're not really gonna see him.
Fine. Even if you make him Hercules, because there was talk about him being Hercules. You're not going to say, what is Superman doing there? He's a totally different character, probably with a different accent, and he's going to be in a whole different context. Right. We will be able to make that distinction. Let's not make this harder than it really is. I don't know what the hell Jake Tapper is talking about. It's not making sense.
So they wanted cool if Jason Momoa was playing Aquaman right now and also came to the MCU and played Ghost Rider at the same time. I mean,
yes. First of all, he was miscast as Aquaman. He should have been Lobo. Let's be real 100 with that. But yes, if he first of all, he also is not that good with his range as an actor.
No, show lane.
There's that part. So this is what I was talking about. How distinct can you make your characters? If they run and do the same things, that can be confusing. I'll give you that. But if they come in and they're being completely different, that's not going to be a hard thing for us to take.
But see, I think that's in part what Jake Tapper was trying to get at, was that I think he feels like in a lot of these movies, the superheroes are very similar to each other in their powers, sometimes just in their personas. And I know they're not. I know there's a lot of intricacies that differentiate the different, superheroes. But I think a lot of people, and especially kids, don't always see some of the finer details that make these characters different. And I mean, to me, I think of it as like Daniel Craig is James Bond. Do I then want to turn around and see him cast as Ethan Hunt? From Mission Impossible?
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
No, that's a good point because the roles are so similar, right? Like that makes sense. But I also think that if they did that, that's going to fall on Daniel Craig. How are you going to make this character? Because I highly doubt if he's playing Ethan Hunt, he's going to go in there with his British accent. I highly doubt he's going to go in acting all suave like James Bond. It's up to the actor to give us a whole different performance. And that's the thing. This is what actors are supposed to do. They're supposed to transform. If they don't transform, it's not a problem on the role. It's a problem on the actor. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about range. When I talk about range, I'm not talking about how good the performance is. I'm talking about their ability to change into something different, one role from another. In other words, when you think about an actor's range, you should not be able to sit here and be like, man, this actor's portrayal in this looks very similar to his portrayal in that. That means there's no range. I'm sorry, I got to do this, but there's, I know this is going to Larry. You should not sit here and be like, yo, Killmonger ain't nothing but the same character from Without Remorse, except it was a prequel. That shows a lack of range. If they're the same character, that means there's no transformation. You can have two good performances. They can both be good performances, but if you don't see a difference between the two, I mean, I could literally, and I really don't want to do this, but it's the only example I could think of. But if I could sit here and be like, yo, Adonis Creed had a bad day, joined the military and Without Remorse, and had an even badder day and became Killmonger. If you can see that through line, there's no range there.
So you're suggesting that Michael B. Jordan doesn't have range?
I'm saying he lacks it.
But you also said that.
But I need people to understand there's a difference
Batista
between
had range
and performance. Say that again.
You also said Batista had range in Army of the Dead.
I said he increased his range.
Okay, well, it sounded like you said something else before.
No. I said Batista.
Range, if you said he had range, then I was gonna have to call you.
No. I'm not saying Batista is like some new Daniel Day-Lewis. Absolutely not. I'm saying my man was doing straight up action roles with 3 lines, and now he started busting out the tears. He started being more dramatic. I'm like, oh, you grew a little bit. That's all. So what I'm saying. There's a difference between range. When you think of range. Think of Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman has range. when you look at all his characters, where he's playing like, you know, a fat politician to some weird person in The Fifth Element, those are two very different characters. You cannot see the difference. That's range. That's what I'm talking about. You can still be a good actor and not have range. That's another separate concept. So I'm not saying Michael B. Jordan is a bad actor. I'm not. The dude is talented. He's good. He just lacks range because we haven't seen enough transformation in the roles he's picked. There hasn't been a role that has stretched him to make him transform. Just because you cry and just because you're real mad is not range. That's my point.
The prison movie with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. I was going to say he did pretty good in that. I forgot the name, but they had Brie Larson, Jamie Foxx.
The other one, Fahrenheit. What was it? Fahrenheit 57 or something like that.
You had a little range in that one. But the one he did one with Jamie Foxx, Brie Larson, when he was the lawyer trying to get Jamie Foxx out of jail.
Right.
It was like
Just Mercy.
Just Mercy. Or do you feel like that wasn't
just
enough?
don't like him because he's the rightful ruler of Wakanda.
Get out of here, Larry. Get out of here, Larry. Get out of here, Larry.
You have your T'Challa bias.
Get out of here, Larry.
That's all it is.
Get out of here, Larry.
I don't like him because he's the true rightful ruler of Wakanda.
Look, yes, if we got to dissect him now, yes, that role he did a little bit different compared to what he's done before, but it wasn't a huge stretch. That's not. It just wasn't.
I see what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying. It's not a stretch. He didn't transform into something completely wild and different and be like, dang, I forgot that was Michael B. Jordan. I still knew that was him.
Well, yes, I think that's all Jake Tapper's saying too.
No, Jack Tapper ain't talking about nothing.
Well, I'm about to get killed because this next one is my story. I'm about to get killed because we don't
even look at the comments. Did I get killed in the comments? I don't.
No, you didn't get killed, but I'm about to get killed because we've talked about the person that I'm going to talk about in this next story. So there's a Thundercat story, Lord, and I'm about to cry.
Oh boy,
it's another one of my childhood favorites. This is your boy Adam Wingard who did Kong versus Godzilla. Is about to do a Thundercats animated movie and live action film. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is this damn part right here. They're trying to get Jason Momoa to be Lion-O, and they want to get the help of Zack Snyder. I'm not okay with that. No. He was okay in Aquaman. I would have wanted more out of Aquaman, but I'm fine with the way Jason Momoa portrayed him. I'm not feeling Jason Momoa as Lion-O, not a young Lion-O. Not feeling. Nope. When I think of Jason Momoa, I think of Drogo from Game of Thrones and kinda Aquaman a little bit, kinda. But he's going to go from those roles to the Lord of the Thundercats. I don't see it. But
I can see you taking this personally.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to you first, E-Man. I want you fix me where I'm broken.
No, I mean, he wouldn't be my first pick because I get it. I mean, look at this picture, right? The picture is intentionally there to show you that, hey, he looks the part, right?
Yep.
What's
he do
the
look
big
the
deal?
part. Just color his hair red.
Right. But people have to realize, and this is the difference, again, between audiences and people that are actually casting and making movies. You know, as audiences, we are consumers. All we care about is entertainment to consume. The people that make the movies, they are producers. They create stuff. This is very superficial to just sit here and say, oh, he looks the part. It's superficial because the if you know anything about Lion-O, he's like your Optimus Prime, right? Like he has leadership abilities where even if you sit in the audience, you be like, yo, Thundercats, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to get up and go fight if you really, are there. I don't know if Jason Momoa can evoke that emotion from you.
Exactly.
And that is an issue. And that is the situation where acting has to trump looks. It's like when you look at someone like Hugh Jackman, he don't look like Wolverine at all, but his acting makes you believe that he is.
Good point.
That is why Jason Momoa, just because he's swole, just because he looks the part, does not mean he's the best fit for it. And I can't be surprised because Adam Wingard You're talking about a guy that just came off of Kong versus Godzilla. That whole movie was superficial.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie was just about popcorn flick, turn off your brain, entertainment. We're just coming to see two monsters just throw hands or paws or claws or whatever. And that was it.
And we have one, before I go to UB Avery, there's one more person that Wingard would like to see come with Zack Snyder and Jason Momoa. And I think we can all agree that this would work for this person. So they want the person to be Panthro, a brother we just talked about on your show. This good brother right here. That's who they want to come in as Panthro. And I can honestly see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
So, B. Avery, your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I don't know too much about the Thundercats to know the character, but if I'm just putting the pictures side by side, I mean, I am cool with Michael Jai White for filling that role. I think that'll be pretty dope right there. As far as Jason Momoa, I am getting annoyed with that. I'm just really, I mean, yeah, he looks the part, but I'm just frankly sick of his name being popped up for everything. You know, just do Aquaman. I thought you was fine in that, and then chill. You don't have to be in every goddamn role. So I'm cool on that. But also, I'm confused about the Zack Snyder thing. He wants to bring in Zack Snyder to do what? If he's the one directing, like
consult somehow, some form of consulting. He wants Zack Snyder to do.
Like
B. Avery.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Zack Snyder is cool, but he ain't no James Cameron. You know
right.
Like, so that's why that's why I took issue with both parts.
That really bothers me. Like, you don't have confidence. I mean, didn't he the dude that wrote the script in high school or something, and it was made fun of?
Yes.
So now you don't have, and I like Godzilla vs. Kong. I mean, it had some issues. It wasn't perfect, you know, but that just tells me that you don't have no confidence in your project. You know,
now you see why E-Man figured I'm so emotional about this. I'm concerned.
And if you're gonna consult, shit, just do it behind closed doors. You don't need. Like, I got Zack Snyder to help me.
Right. Yo, hey, that's what Sony did. That's what Sony did with Kevin Feige and Spider-Man. Kevin Feige was out there, you know, the email leaks and stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige was out there giving them notes and everything. He was like, yo, do this with Spider-Man, do that, do this, do this. And guess what? They ignored it. They ignored everything Kevin Feige said. And that's what we got Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it underperformed, and they had to reboot. But
they're idiots for that. And then too, Kevin Feige has proven himself 10 times over. You know, Zack Snyder, I mean, I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, but the man still needs some polishing.
Oh,
right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Larry, thoughts on Jason Wingard wanting Momoa, Zack Snyder, and our boy right here is Panthro.
Oh, hold on. We got a little something in the chat.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, good gracious sake. My goodness. First, Captain Falcon versus Killmonger. Make it happen, Marvel. Let me pull this picture down because this is a subject of debate. Larry, I'm gonna give it to you first. What'd you say?
I said my mind's going blank. Captain Falcon.
Well, I guess
Captain American Falcon. Sam.
Okay. Trying to mix the two.
I don't know why y'all trying to get Sam killed like that though.
Yeah, Killmonger will wear him out.
Sam.
There you go,
bro. Sam can't fight. Sam cannot fight. Y'all need to stop playing with this man. He can't fight. He doing jumping jacks and handstands, but he don't know how to throw them hands.
But he got the shield.
So
and you have to remember, Killmonger's not going to play with him like these other people. He's going for the kill shot.
Exactly.
He's going to try and take him out every time he puts hands on him. He's going to try and kill him.
Come on, man.
First 20.
And he's going to be like, I'm the rightful ruler of Wakanda. I'm taking that vibranium shield back. It's mine. You look on it. Look at the small trailer. It says property of Wakanda. And
this was a bad decision. My bad for bringing attention to this. I'm sorry.
And if Bucky tries to step up, because he's the rightful ruler, he's going to have all the cheat codes. He's going to do the thing like the Dora Milaje did. He's going to go bloop, 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 and his arm's just going to fall off. So
do it again, Larry. Do it again.
Larry got the cheat code memorized. Ain't nobody gonna run up on him.
Right.
Larry, do that work for Jax on Mortal Kombat 2? Can you do?
Oh man.
Nah, his is
you get both arms though.
So Larry, what you think, man? Well, how you feeling about this Thundercats and these people they want on the team?
You know what? Here are two people that I actually could see playing this role, and both of you are probably going to think that I'm crazy. But since we just talked about Henry Cavill, I can actually see him in there.
Oh, what?
I could actually see Henry Cavill playing that role
as Lion-O.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'd rather see Macaulay Culkin.
I don't want to see Macaulay Culkin, but
or and you guys are gonna hate me as much for this one.
Oh Lord.
Ben Affleck.
Oh my God.
As Lion-O?
Yes.
I'm trying to think about it, bro. I'm trying.
I like Ben Affleck in that.
I like Ben Affleck as Batman, but not as Lion-O.
That's
not as Lion-O. No, Larry, no.
That's what I'm sticking with.
God, no. Jason Wingard, we're leaving this subject toot sweet because my feelings is hurting right now. Get your act together, my brother, and do better with your cat. Stop letting stuff leak out too.
Larry is trolling, boy. He is trolling us,
man. Larry think he Mace, the king of controversy. He about to get me in trouble again. I've been in trouble all week long fooling around with Larry. People all in my inbox saying craziness. Last thing I got
people
for you
get
guys.
butthurt too easy.
Yeah, some of them do. There's a new film coming out, and I want to get you guys' take on it. I'm going to see if my technology is acting properly right now, and we're going to take a look at this trailer. I'm going to give everybody his opinion. I'll let you guys go. It's called Let Us In, the official trailer. Please work.
So, what's going on with the project?
Hello, it's me, Emily Sparks, coming to you from Earth.
Okay.
There's a reason why you're not the most.
We're not going to be watching this tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I can hear it.
My technology is acting very, very crazy. And so we'll stop it right there, and we'll just ask the fellas what they got going on in their channels, and we'll let you guys go to bed. So, Larry, we'll swing to you first. What's going on your channel this weekend?
Hey, before we do that, how y'all feel about Joe Manganiello, the dude that's gonna play Deathstroke? How would you feel about him?
For Lion-O?
Yeah,
that's better than Ben Affleck.
I know. I'm not saying I'm not giving you a smash hit person. I'm just saying, unless you go younger.
Yeah,
which is what I'm thinking. You got to go a little younger
route.
You got to go younger. You got to go
Zac Efron.
I can see that.
He's too short.
I can see that.
I
don't know the Thundercats like that though. So I'm just going off.
But see,
think Animal Transformers.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, right.
He's too short. What about Tyrese?
Come on, bro.
For what?
Okay, all right, man. Wrap it up. Wrap up the show. Wrap up the show. Nah, Larry going off the hinge now.
Yeah, Larry, tell the people what you got going on your channel this week. What
I'm
the
sorry.
hell is Tariq going to play, man?
I shouldn't have said that.
Larry,
I shouldn't have said that.
Bro.
Man, they're coming out the window. Now they talking about. Look, now they talk about Channing Tatum.
You have another voice in the room. There's more representation out there in the room, so that there can be different voices heard.
Oh, Larry, you opening up the conversation of foods, and now they talk about Channing Tatum, Roman Reigns, and all kinds of man. Larry, get out of here, man. Roman Reigns,
dude with the weakest finisher in the WWE.
Bro,
the weakest finisher in the history,
bro. Like, he ain't for real, man.
Channing Tatum wouldn't be terrible. Somebody said Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is too short.
Larry, why would you say Tyrese? Why would you? Why?
He was talking about Panthro. I swear he was talking about Panthro. He wasn't talking about Lion-O.
Yeah, I'm talking about Lion-O.
No, you're
not talking about Panthro.
You're not talking about Lion-O.
No, I think we all agree Panthro would be great with Michael J.
You're gonna have Tyrese out there like Thundercats. What more do you want from me?
Exactly. Or he's gonna be like, my baby, don't take my baby. That's what.
Larry is a troll.
I'm saying,
boy.
Come on.
Or maybe what's his name, dude that played Luke Cage? We can get him in there.
Don't say nothing else.
No more.
Larry, just tell us what's on your channel.
Larry, what is your channel? Where can people find you?
Yes, what are you doing on your channel this weekend, man?
Oh.
You see what happens when you get some other voices in the room?
Yeah, we trying to tell you no, because we care.
Man, y'all acting like the other folks over there at Comic-Con or something. You know, you need some new voices in the room to get the Tyrese's working in the world.
Come on.
You know?
Come on.
Okay.
Somebody said the Olsen twins as the Wiley Cats.
Come
I can
on,
see
bro.
that.
Come on.
I
No,
can see
they
the
too
Olsen
old.
twins.
They too old. They too old. They too old.
You think they're too old now?
Yeah, they too old. They too old. They too old. Too old.
All right.
Okay. B. Avery, what's going on your channel? We obviously know that the only thing going on Larry's channel is a whole bunch of Wakanda and Killmonger foolishness. So what's going on your channel?
All right, let me tell you. All right. So I'm still making some videos, still doing my reviews and stuff. I have some cool stuff I need to review. I did put out a video tonight about Quibi. I don't know if any of you remember Quibi, the streaming service that came out and they had all the shorts on there. And what about Boris Kojo? Anyway, so Quibi is back. Quibi is back. But it's back and it's part of the Roku channel. So Roku basically bought all of Quibi's library and they're offering it for free on the Roku channel. So you can watch it on pretty much any device. You can watch it on your smart TVs, on your streaming devices, on your phones, your tablets. Anyway, so I made a little video about it, telling people what it is, where it is, how to watch it, and showed some of the stuff that's on there. I also made a video about watching the Black Panther Wakanda series that you can watch for free on Marvel Entertainment's YouTube channel. So there are 6 episodes of that. That video is actually coming out tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I have some other stuff, but I mean, it's just more tech stuff I'm always working on. So
yeah. Y'all subscribe to that brother's channel.
I did get a new knife though. B. Avery had his knife. I've been doing a knife review. I've been doing a few knife reviews, so I have a new knife here. So you know,
I gotta get some. Oh man, y'all got the knife.
Yeah, man.
I got one too.
Dang, man, I'm so behind.
I got one too, man.
I was all on my Falcon and Winter Soldier thing, and I'm just using a little nail file, you know. Because I like Bucky with the knife, and y'all got real knives.
Yeah, we got
some
good
B. Avery had a Band-Aid on his hand last week.
Yeah, bro, I cut myself.
Dang, man, I feel low as hell.
You good.
B. Avery, be sure to subscribe to Larry's channel, my people.
Yes,
Great
Larry,
content.
send me the link when that video goes.
Yeah. And B. Avery, what you got going on your channel this week? Would you probably be able to catch Larry on his channel on Sunday?
When you check out that video, go ahead and check the thumbnail too.
Nice.
Never mind, Larry.
It's Black Panther, but it's Killmonger as Black Panther.
Mind.
Wait a minute, Larry, you did not put Killmonger as Black Panther on.
Yes, I did. He has the gold and everything.
God almighty. This guy.
Well, what I had right before this, I was trying to finish my review for A Quiet Place 2, which drops next week. So that'll be up later tonight. Maybe got like another hour left of editing. Just them pictures are real tedious. I still have my Jupiter's Legacy shot. I just got to edit it. I'm not going to put too much time on that. That'll come out tomorrow.
We get a sneak peek. What'd you think of it?
I liked the ending. I didn't like the beginning, but I stuck with it, and I was entertained. It was a bunch of bad stuff, but I was still entertained. So Quiet Place 2 tonight, Jupiter's Legacy tomorrow. My Corella review will be up on Wednesday.
When did that come out?
Wednesday. Well, it comes out, was it Friday, I think, or the week after that? But the embargo lifts on Wednesday. I'm gonna try to have it up by then.
I got time.
And also for Sunday, I'm gonna try to. I've already shot it. I just got to edit it. My Game Kings review, that documentary on helping men with dating life and stuff. I'm gonna try to have that up Sunday morning, and I still gotta watch it. I'm gonna try to have my buck breaking review up by Sunday afternoon before my show, because I want to ride the wave of Tariq's lives that he does on Sunday. And so I haven't watched it yet, but that's what I saw. Jupiter's Legacy, Quiet Place 2, Corella, Game Kings, and Buck Breaking is coming this week.
Cool.
And my show on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CST.
Yep. Be sure to subscribe to that brother channel and the big homie E-Man from the Chi-Town. What we got good going on your channel?
First of all, I want to say shout out to Carbro who said E-Man in there with the butter knife.
Carbro know the deal. He know the deal. If you don't know what he's talking about, you got to go watch my Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry, it's buck breaking, B-U-C-K, not butt, B-U-C-K.
That's a whole different channel.
Yeah, that's a whole different website. Different
Y'all won't be every OnlyFans channel.
No.
Boy,
man, y'all do be bugging on Friday night, man. God.
Oh man. Yeah. So what do I do? So I just did a live just a little while ago. If y'all missed it, I will break it up because I know anybody about to watch the whole hour and a half. You should. It does me, my channel some great favors. But I will break it up. What I did was I talked about Castlevania season 4, non-spoilery. Just gave you my thoughts on that. It's fantastic, by the way. And then I also did a quick breakdown, a very, very quick breakdown, not detailed at all, no spoilers, for Love, Death, Robots Volume 2. So if you were interested in it, if you don't know what Love, Death, Robots is all about, I'll break that up for you and let you know what you should watch, what was really cool, what you could pass on as well. So you don't want to miss that. I too will also have I'll drop some other reviews as well. I'm a little late with it, but I got to drop my Spiral review. I just dropped my what was that other review? Gosh, it wasn't. I got A Quiet Place coming up. I'll probably drop that in the next day or so. I got to do that one. Dang. Oh, Army of the Dead. Sorry, that was the other one that I just dropped, so you can go check that out as well. And then sometime down the line I'll do Cruella. I don't know how excited I am about that movie, but I'll get around to doing that as well. But yeah, please stay tuned because you never know if I drop like an interview, some big news, like crazy things happen on my channel. I don't like telling people sometimes. I just like to just drop it, So you just gotta be subscribed and hit that bell for notifications. You never know what's gonna happen,
Yeah,
oh, and by the way, Recast T'Challa passed 35,000 signatures. So we are making milestones, and it is just the beginning. The petition is not the end all of this movement. It is just the beginning of a conversation. I've got some things up my sleeve. You don't want to miss it. I'm working on something huge. I don't know if it's going to happen yet. Stay tuned in a couple weeks. If it pans out, it'll be worth the watch. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, we've been waiting on it because we need something to deal with till Loki come out anyway. So make those things happen, my brother. In terms of my channel, what'd you say?
Didn't they just drop a new trailer the other day?
They've been dropping clips all day.
Yeah, left and right. Me neither. I haven't watched none of them either.
I'm not.
But for me, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back Sunday. It is the Shy time. My wife wants to come out the closet and sit on down with me and review the Shy. And then I'll be going live Sunday night with Moochie and Anita the Diva. The one that had on that wig looking like Tina Turner the other day. We will be reviewing Run the World. Then I'll be back again on Monday with Larry, Moochie, and Jay Moore reviews to do the Shy live stream. And we'll do Godfather Harlem live stream, and then we'll keep our same schedule. And you'll catch me popping in with B. Avery this Sunday as well before I go live that same night. And ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to all these brothers' good channels. They'll keep you informed, entertained, and with it. And until that next sexy as hell video, Killmonger is not the rightful ruler of Wakanda. And I get to hit the button before Larry can say something else crazy. Good night.
Killmonger actually created the vaccine.